It's time for the Cornelius tier list discussion.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the hero Cornelius, how to get him, where he belongs, and what I think of him as far as my tier list is concerned. For those of you that are new to my tier list discussions, my list is based on utility, not on power. This isn't going to be a discussion of how Cornelius the Mage stacks up against Lars the Mage or Mojo the Mage or Peppy the Mage. It's nothing about that. This is about utility. This is about team usefulness. This is about showing this video to a new player and having them be able to come away from this video with the knowledge of how to utilize Cornelius as a hero. All right. So speaking of Cornelius the Mage, Cornelius is a backline mage. He's also classified as support because he does have a little bit of control abilities. His main stat is intelligence, and nice mix of stats here. Noticeably missing magic penetration. For you new players, penetration for damage dealers is the most important thing. Cornelius doesn't have that. Fun fact about Cornelius, he's one of the very few heroes in the game whose basic attack, that is the basic, auto attack, his attack is based on his magic attack, not his physical attack. Most other heroes in the game, their auto attack or their basic attack is based on physical attack. So fun little fact there. How do you get Cornelius? Well, on Facebook, you can buy 5 of Cornelius's soul stones from the friendship shop, and this resets every day. On mobile, you can buy 5 of Cornelius's soul stones from the highwayman shop, which is effectively the mobile version of the friendship shop. They did away with the friendship system a little while ago on mobile. You can also get his soul stones from special events like what we have happening right now on Herowarsmobile. Fantastic. 4 skills, heavy wisdom. This is the big one. This is his signature ability. This is why you bring Cornelius to a party if you wanted to bring an old mage to a party. Heavy wisdom states that it hits the enemy with the highest intelligence with a monolith, dealing damage proportionally to their intelligence. So the important thing is this is a smart missile. This ability will target the enemy with the highest intelligence. All right, so Cornelius immediately is slotted into teams to counter those high intelligence mages. We're talking about Lars, we're talking about Satori, we're talking about Celeste, we're talking about Morrigan. So if the enemy is using a team that has a single mage in it, and that mage is giving you trouble, Cornelius is the answer. All right, that's a little foreshadowing on where I feel that Cornelius fits in my tier list. His green ability, skill number 2, Rune of Suppression, an ancient spell which hits the enemy with the highest magic attack and reduces their magic attack for the next 12 seconds. This will do the same thing that the gray ability does, but to the highest magic attack, and it reduces their damage instead of doing massive damage to them. All right, so the gray ability does massive damage based on enemies' intelligence. This ability will reduce the magic attack of that mage as well. Blue ability, Protective Dome. Cornelius casts a barrier on your team, I should say, increasing magic defense for 6 seconds. And you can see here that this has a 25% magic attack modifier. I should mention that while the gray ability, going back to the gray ability, it only has a 10% magic attack modifier. It does a ton of damage, a ton of damage. A lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
No, that's a lot of damage.
Because it the effect is based on the enemy's intelligence. This dome, this protective dome, this magic defense shield for your team is based on 25% magic attack, and it's a nice team boost. And then finally, we have the Violet ability, and the Violet ability is called Memory Loss. Cornelius curses a random enemy at the beginning of the battle, reducing the level of their first skill. If Cornelius dies, the curse will disappear. So what does this mean? This means that randomly an enemy's first skill, that is their ultimate, could potentially miss. think about other heroes that you have on your team. If you have a hero on your team that states has a chance to miss if hero is above a certain level, this could make an enemy's ultimate miss. This could make this could make an enemy's stun or control effect miss your team. So effective. This is an effective ability to have. Unfortunately, since it's random, you can't really count on it. There's 5 enemies on the opposing team. You can't really count on this ability. Just as a quick aside before I move on to the skins, Cornelius is one of those heroes that does not require much investment. Okay, because the nature of his gray ultimate ability is based on the enemy's intelligence more so than Cornelius's magic attack. You don't need to invest a ton into Cornelius's glyphs, skins, and artifacts for him to be an effective mage counter. Now, as you get higher and higher and higher into the end game, it will become more important to invest in him as enemies' magic defense gets higher and higher and higher, and people start planning for Cornelius a little bit better. And there are ways to plan for Cornelius. There absolutely is. All right, so Cornelius already has all 4 of his skins. He will not get any more powerful unless they do a rework. That's important to know. However, that's okay. We have the default skin of intelligence. We have his stellar skin is a health skin. We have the angel skin, which is magic attack. And then we have the masquerade skin, which is one of the best skins in the game. Also magic attack. And leveling order for damage dealers is the attack stat, so magic attack, and I would highly recommend picking up the masquerade skin first. As it is the coolest looking skin, brings some style to your team that might not normally have it. Level up that angel skin next, which is the second magic attack skin. Get that intelligence raised up, and then finally his health skin. Glyph leveling order. We got magic attack, we got intelligence, health, armor, and then magic defense. All right, so Cornelius doesn't have magic penetration, which is okay. You need somebody else to provide it to him. But when it comes to mages, level up their magic attack first, then then his intelligence, and then his health, and then the rest of his defensive stats. Artifacts. As with most artifacts, you want to get his weapon, his archivist's staff, up to 3 stars so that his activation chance is 100%. He does provide magic defense, which is a fantastic team buff to bring to a fight as a counter hero. So I would say leveling up the weapon would be the most ideal first. Of course, keeping him alive is important. His magic attack, while important, is less important than other mages. So in my opinion, I want to focus on his weapon, and then I would focus on his book and then his ring last. Of course, I wouldn't focus too much on Cornelius's artifacts unless he's in your main team for some reason, and I don't think that he should be in your main team. I think that he's a hero that you level up with your main team, like hero 7 or maybe hero number 8, but I don't think he's in your main team. And that kind of leads into the tier list discussion. Now, hopefully at the top of the video you had some time to read through what the different tiers meant. And if you don't quite understand them, then I'm happy to work through it with you offline. Reach out to me on Discord or on Facebook or what have you. But and also one more note: please don't pay any attention to these names. They are silly names. They're intended to be silly. They're intended to make fun of people who make tier lists, or rather, to make fun of those tier lists. However, it's the utility. This is the utility tier list. So we have water bottle tier. You would plug Cornelius into every team. Yes, you can. But would you build a team around Cornelius? I don't think so. I don't think you would. Cornelius is specifically brought to a team to counter a mage, right? You have milk crate tier. Brings utility to some teams against certain teams. He's a counter hero. Cornelius is absolutely a milk crate tier hero. Absolutely. Let's keep going, though, because there's more. Stop sign tier. These are heroes that you would build a team around, but doesn't bring utility to a team. Obviously, Cornelius is all about bringing a counter ability, countering an enemy mage, so he's not a stop sign tier hero. Dead battery tier hero. Would not recommend spending any resources, bugged or too weak, not recommended for new players. Cornelius is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary in the end. Absolutely necessary. He's not going to be in your main team, but he is necessary to have. And that is because of the last tier that we're going to discuss right here, the PvE hero tier. PvE stands for player versus environment. And what we're talking about when we're talking about PvE is the campaign, we're talking about the tower, we're talking about Outland. All right. There are missions and chapters in the campaign that are nearly impossible to complete unless you have Cornelius. Okay. There are some specific enemies. The Priest of Seymour on Facebook is one of them. The frozen visage. I think that's what they're called on chapter. I don't even know the Northlands chapter. Where you're in the icy area, you need Cornelius to counter that hero. Absolutely, you need Cornelius. So he's a milk crate hero. He brings utility to some teams against certain teams, but you wouldn't necessarily build a team around him. Now, fun ways to counter Cornelius, and then we'll wrap up the video. If you're a Twins player, make sure that your Krista is higher intelligence than your Lars. Make sure that, if you're trying to protect a squishy mage, make sure that you have some way to have a higher intelligence on another hero. Otherwise, it is what it is. Cornelius as an individual, if he's on defense, he seems like he's pretty easy to counter with a massive spike in physical attack damage. Whenever I see an enemy with Cornelius on it, my Kark tends to chew through it very quickly. Of course, I don't really have much magic attack on my team aside from my faceless, so neither here nor there. But you could also kind of protect against it a little bit. You can't really protect with Rufus because his ultimate ability is a physical attack. Heavy Wisdom, that ultimate is a physical attack. That's important to note. We're going to do a fun team combo video with Cleaver, Jorgen, and Cornelius sometime later this week. So keep a lookout for that. But let me know what you think. I'll go ahead and share a video showing the story of Cornelius. This is a lore video I did over a year ago. It's still pertinent because it's Cornelius's lore. And we'll also talk about a couple of other videos that I'll post here as well that you might find interesting if you're curious about learning about Cornelius and other counter heroes. So check those videos out if you'd like. If not, that's cool too. Just watching this one is more than good enough for me. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.